No.
Finally, do you think that guns should be taken away from people who have a non-violent criminal record?
I think that this is gonna have to be examined on a case by case basis. I think that it definitely would depend on the crime somewhat, and I think that it would depend on the number of offenses. If there's like an isolated incident of drug possession or something like that, I don't think that person should necessarily be prevented from purchasing a gun. But again, I think that they should still be required to go through the mental health examination and to obtain the permit and to prove that them being a gun owner isn't them being a threat to society. So I think that has to be examined on a case by case basis. You have to look at the situation that this person was in that led them to the crime, and I think that you have to look at whether it's occurred in the past. You have to look at factors other than just what's written on paper, and so I think that that's where the lines kind of get blurred a little bit, and it's not just something that's going to be clear cut, yes they should have a gun or no they shouldn't, because it's difficult to distinguish all these things and to make that determination. But erring on the side of caution, I would say that unless you're 100% certain that the person owning the gun isn't going to be a threat to society and a threat to human life, then it's difficult to justify that this person deserves to have a weapon of destruction.
So you think that it should be more of like a personal discretion rather than just as a whole the criminal record?
Not personal discretion, because obviously if you leave it up to the person, then they're gonna want to buy a gun even if it's with bad intention. I think that the bottom line is that people, if anybody in the whole gun control debate is valuing their right to own a gun over someone else's right to be alive and to not be in fear of their life because of guns everywhere, then I think that's someone that is kind of missing the bigger picture. Because I get it, the people that are hunters and the people that are shooting for recreational or competitive shooting or what have you, I get that for those people a gun is a hobby, but is it a hobby that's worth the cost of that's worth a human life? And I think that for most of those people the answer is no. So for those people, I don't think that it should be as much. I think that even if I were, and I mean it's difficult to say it without being in that position, but I think that even if I were pro-gun, I would value someone's life over guns. So if it meant giving up my gun so that a little kid in music class didn't have to worry about being shot by someone and all of my classmates being shot as well, I think that's a sacrifice that I'd be willing to make.
All right, that's all we got.